Okay, so I'm Maximillian Hoecker. I'm the head of the IT strategy and planning team on Heidelberg University in the data center. And today I want to talk about a few challenges, what we have in the data center and how we tackle them using cloud computing methods. So in the last few years, we analyzed our behavior and how we work, and we found out that we have three major challenges in university IT. And the first one is the time to market, or the time to production with new services. When we want to launch a new service or upgrade a new service, it takes us weeks or months or even years, depending on if we need to buy something or not to establish a new service or even an upgrade. This is due to some regularities in EU laws for the public sector, especially in Germany, that if you even want to buy just a single large server, you need to make a call for bids or call for tenders, which takes at least, let's say, a month or two, and if it's a larger deployment, it takes you 4 months or more, including preparation and all the stuff needed for doing the call for bids. And this is something which blocks you really from working and, or let's say, being parallel to the developments in industry. Another problem is the rules for the third-party fundings. So if you maybe get some external funding, for example, from DFG, BMBF, or whatever, you have to follow certain regulations, what you do with the money spent and how to use the products you bought. So, for example, there are certain regulations that for certain circumstances, you are not allowed to continue using, as a data center, the hardware for main services bought for a specific project. So you bought hardware and then it stands around in your data center and you are not officially allowed to use it. That's a major issue from my perspective. Another problem, which is a little bit related to the time to market or time production problem, is resource management. If your data center is full, it takes also a lot of time to increase your rack space or your rooms available. And additionally, finding good staff in the public sector is also not the easiest chapter to do. So we were thinking about these three problems, and we figured out that cloud computing in general is one method to tackle them. And we looked at ourselves again in the mirror, and then we figured out before we're going to a cloud direction, we need to do some organizational changes. So let's say 2 years before, we had a really silo-oriented organization. Means we had a team which just were covering up the network problems, another team just covering up operating, means installing servers, cabling them. Another team was just doing the applications, another team was doing the services on top. So if you take a second for yourself and think about the structure and think about a standard IT project, you will easily find out that this will block a little bit your driving or a little bit your time to market, since the communication, the interdepartment communication, takes a while. So we decided to break up the whole structure and put a, let's say, cross services or a cross silo structure on top of it, so a service-oriented one to be ready to, let's say, cover up all problems of all silos in just one department. And yeah, we decided to go, as I said, into a cloud direction, and we are providing already, let's say, one of these three clouds here shown. So we have one local cloud, or one cloud idea we call it just HiCloud for Heidelberg Cloud. And this cloud is spread into three different sub-clouds. One cloud is just interesting for ourselves. It's a testing cloud where you can deploy and test new services, so something like an incubator area. Then another one is the more interesting for our students is the Heiss cloud. So this is the student cloud where students can get workspaces, where you can get virtual desktops, so their own central infrastructure, then they are not needing an own computer, but just a device connecting to it, maybe just an iPad, tablet. It's something we will launch somewhere this year. Due to the current rack space available, we are just deploying it locally, and we are just deploying it for 1K students. Yeah. And it's free of charge for the students. And then as a last cloud, that's our main cloud, I will now focus on in the next few minutes of the talk, is our Hype cloud, which is the production clouds. And we are currently covering up infrastructure services. We are also able to provide tenant access or tenant separated access, so also with non-shared tenant access on hardware. And there's a free tier and a paid tier available, but it's just as a minor information. We achieved this by, let's say, looking at the hyperscalers, and we have now set up this framework of modules. So if you look from the bottom, it's just the hardware, and going more to the top, you will see another layer of abstraction layer by layer. We are focusing just on, in the basement, on Linux OS. We are focusing on Docker and KVM as virtualization technologies, and I put a large focus on Docker, which in the next few slides. There is an object storage available, which is also, let's say, capable to the S3 API. We have a premium and a non-premium storage backend, because after doing some service in the university internal, we figured out there are two departments or two parties of users. One user part is just interested in a very cheap, high scalable and high volume backend, so they don't care about certain SLAs, they just want to store. And there's another part on university focusing on premium SLA storage, that's what I call it. And this party is interested in having a high performant, high reliable storage on standard systems because of certification problems. So for example, SAP system. And we decided to use to give the customer the opportunity to split, to choose when they create a volume in the cloud, if it's on a premium backend or on a local backend. And additionally, we know that our rack space is very limited, so we included Amazon Web Services as our partner for hybrids, for our hybrid solution, which is controlled at the very top from the broker. So the broker decides whether the resources are booked locally, specified by a certain policy by our customers, or in the public cloud, also specified by the policy. To achieve this and to achieve certain possibilities in the architecture, we decided to create a hybrid networking solution. So we have our SDN controllers locally available, and we have Amazon VPC at the public cloud scaler, and we connect them both together in one layer of networking, so that we can launch on both sides virtual machines, or later on also Docker containers, and move them around back and forth just as needed. So this is also just instrumented from the HiCloud broker, which is, as I said, the central way of communication. What we achieve with this is some kind of transparency. So, as I said, I want to focus on Docker, so every single application or service possible is now currently packaged in our data center into containers like Docker or Rocket, and then shipped according to a specific policy to either public or private cloud, and maybe in the midterm also moved via both both worlds, depending on maybe price or other policies. One example could be that we launched something in the spot market, and this spot market instance is not available anymore, and we need to shift it over back again. Okay. Additionally, to our Docker solution for let's say the commodity things we're doing in the data center, our research institutes are highly interested and highly using the Hadoop offers. So sometimes they create their own Hadoop clusters based on EC2. Sometimes they are using just the elastic MapReduce offer available from Amazon, and they use it mostly for data processing in astronomy and text mining. That's in Heidelberg University the two major usages in data processing for Hadoop. We are using Amazon as a burst out possibility for our platform containers, And yeah, for students today with the announced AWS education part, we'll also use it for cluster deployments and in student education in classes. So this concludes my talk now. If you want to know something more, you can use my V-card here to contact me, or just ask me after I was on stage. And now I hand over to Frauke.